Carol's past is starting to get to her. The Alexandrians head out to face the Saviors, and we're introduced to Rick's Rhinoplasty. It's The Walking Dead, Season 6, Episode 12. Not Tomorrow Yet. Alright, spoilers ahead, just so you've been warned. So we've got a nice little transition episode of The Walking Dead today. A lot of background, a lot of character work. We do get some nice action in towards the end, but really this is starting to set things up. There's 4 episodes after this. We're heading into the back half of Season 6, so things are only going to be ramping up a bit more. And it starts out with Carol getting cookies, or the ingredients for cookies in the post-apocalypse. Pulling beets is the only sugar source that she can pull off the shelves, and she has to go out into the forest and hunt down for acorns, killing walkers in the midst of it. And then goes out spreading cookie joy throughout town. Everybody gets a cookie, everybody but Morgan. They're still having their little problems of interacting. Morgan not wanting to kill Carol, not wanting to deal with Morgan at this point. She's weighing all of these thoughts, all of her past, all of the people that she has killed is really weighing heavily on her. And we can tell that from the waking up in the middle of the night, the journal that she is keeping, which is apparently a list of all the people that she has killed. From the kids early on, to the people in Terminus, to the wolves, and everybody in between. It's a lot that I think the calmness, now that the walls are back up around Alexandria, is giving her and kind of giving everyone that thought, that pause of where they are and how they got there. And of course we have little Sam, who gets the last cookie that she had made. And even though she is not directly responsible for Sam's death, we as an audience do know that her words were kind of the last that were going through Sam's mind before he was engulfed by the zombie horde. And I think these are the things that are starting to weigh heavily on Carol, all of her choices, and who she ultimately really is, which leads to that really nice scene between her and Tobin up on the porch where Tobin tells Carol, it's because you're a mom. It's because you're a mom that you can do these things. Not his mom. They're looking for a little different relationship there. Good on you, Carol. And she is like the mom to the town. She is caring, and having that mom position means that she is willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done. If she's got to get her hands dirty, she's going to do that. That is that caring position that she has put herself in. And these thoughts and reflections kind of spread out through the rest of the Alexandrians as Rick shows up and notifies them about the deal that they have made with Hilltop and their mission, that they have to go out and kill Neegan. That is how they eat. That is how they will survive. That is the beginnings of their trade relationship with the Hilltop community, who has resources that they need. And while Morgan throws out his objection, it's not something that's picked up by the rest of the town. The rest of the town seems, especially after the incidents with the wolves and the invasion of the walkers into their town, that they have seen that they are now having to fight back, that this is the new world that they are living in, and they are willing to, I don't know if it's so much embrace it, but accept it, that this is what they have to do. And so a huge chunk of the episode is really dealing with all of their little relationship things and getting prepped for it. And I'm not sure how many we're about to die tropes we're going to run in. Now there are rules, outside of The Walking Dead, there were generally rules of who is going to be killed in any instance. Person of color, you're dead. About to get married or just got married, you're dead. About to retire, you're dead. Any of these types of things, these kind of transition areas, always tend to be ripe for characters to die. And they've really put kind of everybody in that position. We had Carol's little romance there with Tobin. They had their little smooch and possibly something else, as she said, it's not morning yet. Who knows where that went? We have Abraham and Rosita breaking up. Abraham breaking up in the worst possible way. Hey, when I met you, I thought you were the last woman on earth, but you're not. Dick move, Abraham. Which puts him and Rosita both in that post-relationship positions. Now, of course, Abraham's trying to go after Sasha, and they might have a bit more of a connection. But still, Abraham, there are so many different ways to do this. That is not anywhere near a good choice to do. And then you have Tara and Denise, who have the little I love you moments there. That's usually a sign of things ending. And then we have Glenn and Heath, who have that discussion that neither one of them has actually killed a living person yet in the apocalypse. That's one of Glenn's big things. He's killed walkers, but he has never killed an actual human. Apparently Heath is in the same position. So everybody is and then we have Maggie and Glenn. Maggie, of course, is pregnant and they're trying to get together, but Maggie feels that she has to go on this mission because she set up the deal. Glenn was going to go anyway, but he certainly would not have let her go by herself. Everybody is kind of in that position, and I think that's part of how the show is building up the tension of who might die, because they're all filling in the little trope check boxes of these are all the people that are slated to die, these are the things that could happen, and we have everybody filling in at least one of those check marks, if not more than one. Now, to get in and rescue Craig, who is the prisoner that's being held there, Andy, the guy that came with them from Hilltop, is drawing out a map of basically everything that he remembers. And at least they have that bit of intelligence that they go on. But I was kind of bummed out that they just went straight in. For instance, Aaron and Daryl would be perfect scouts to set in. Aaron followed the group for days without being discovered. So I think someone like that would be able to have the skills to gather intelligence, to watch where they're going. I think that's the big mistake they make, from a tactical standpoint, is they really rush in. They have a good plan, and it's a nice tactical scene between everyone when they rush in and you're grouped up and you've got a partner and you're watching back. They move very cleanly. This is obviously a well-oiled machine. But these types of battle tactics are something that they have done over and over again. And the smoothness that they can work is beautiful to watch. However, as Tara says later on in the truck, her concerns and her worries is she's done this before. She has been asked to do something like this before. We have to go in and kill them all. That's what the governor told her. And after that instance, her sister was dead, her cousin was dead, everybody she knew was dead, and she was lucky enough to hook up with Glenn and be able to join the group. But that was a pretty substantial moment for Tara. So her thinking back on that in the midst of this makes sense. Now, in order, of course, to get into the Saviors group, they've got to deliver a sever head of Gregory, which gives another great Rick sequence when they've got the heads all lined up and they're trying to figure out which one looks right. Oh, the nose looks wrong. And Rick just grabs it and bah, bah, bah. Okay, there you go. And again, that great turn of what? When Andy is just staring at him, God, these Saviors scary, but they got nothing on you. It's another one of those great Rick what moments. Just like last week after he had stabbed that one guy in the neck and stood up and everyone's staring at him in horror and he's got blood covering his body and he's, what? It's the same thing for Rick. These are just natural sequences. The fact that they still surprise everyone around him is kind of shocking to him, but it also is the great comparative point of where Rick has been and where he has come versus the Hilltop community and the rest of those who have not had the type of intense intense situations that Rick and the group have had to deal with. Now, the assault on the Saviors outpost, and I'm gonna put it that way because I think, like I said, gathering intelligence really should have taken more than just having one guy draw a map of what he thinks he remembers. They don't know how many people are there. They don't really know the exact layout of it, but they're willing to go in and try and take everyone out. And let it be known, this is murder. This is straight out murder. You're killing people while they sleep. And that does at least have that momentary weight distributed on him. Even when Rick comes up, who has created the plan, who is dedicated to do it, even his first moments before he sinks the knife down into into the first guy's head, he pauses. And at least that gives that weight of what it is that they are really doing. And then when it gets down to Glenn and Heath, I mean, just a beautiful scene for Glenn is this is the first time he is having to make this step. And it's not just killing a person in a gunfight or killing someone to save anyone else. This is someone asleep in their bed. And that's an extremely difficult thing to do. And I think Glenn played it out just beautifully. Heath, not able to do it. Too much for him. But you could see, once the first one's out of the way, for Glenn, the second one was much easier. And there were the Polaroids that were above the bed of, which would have been Heath's victim, but becomes Glenn's second victim. All the Polaroid shots of the people that were shot in the head. I think those are people. Those are not walkers. One, the clothes are all still really nice. But mainly, why would you take a picture of walkers? They're everywhere. You would take pictures of people you've killed. Now, they could be someone that had meant something to them, but why would they all be corpse pictures that you take? So, is this his running tally? Is this his dead guy's now journal like Carol was starting to write up? Hard to know, but also if you're keeping pictures of people you killed, that is a sign that you are a bad guy. But good things don't last. At some point, somebody walks out and catches specifically Abraham and Sasha, maybe feeling a bit too comfortable with their situation. They take him out, but not before he is able to hit the alarm and signal everyone. And that ensues the giant gun battle through there, which again has that great sequence where Glenn and Heath are being chased through and they finally find the armory, run into it, turn around, grab the guns, and just blow, there's just hail of gunfire towards the door. Hint though, reload before you open the door. Reload before you check the door, because they seem to empty their magazines in that, and then they just went to check the door and opened it up, seeing the pile of bodies, so obviously now Heath has killed people. But there was one left, and they would have been dead if it wasn't for Ninja Jesus. Because again, they had no gun, they had no bullets in their weapons. They'd emptied it out. So, if you happen to be chased into an armory and you do empty your weapon into a closed door, be sure to reload before checking behind that door. Just an important post-apocalyptic safety tip for you. Now they do get Andy back, and then as soon as things go down, as soon as the alarm goes off, they send him and Craig back to Hilltop. And yes, they could use other people possibly in the fight, but the real focus there was that was part of the deal. They were going to rescue Craig, they were going to take out Neegan, and that was fulfilling their end of the bargain. If Craig or Andy had gotten killed in the midst of the rescue attempt, that would have weighed negatively on their deal with Hilltop. So I think they made a really smart choice of getting them in the truck and getting them out of there. Unfortunately, that did reduce the number of people that they had available, and with the alarms going off, that's when they eventually discover, after they think they've taken everyone out, they've forgotten to check on two people. Carol and Maggie. So a really good episode. Again, a lot of character build-up in the beginning, some nice action at the end with the invasion of the survivors compound, but it leaves us with two of the group being held by the enemy. Could there be some negotiation for the freedom? That's probably going to start out, but the way things have been going with the group as a general rule, I don't think that is going to end well. Again, this, and I think, was it Michonne asked the really important question, I wonder which one of them was Neegan. And that is what's going to haunt them, because I don't think, this is not Negan's main camp. I think he is a much larger entity than the group has not been led to believe, but I think the group has thought that he is. The Hilltop doesn't really know that much about them, and I think we'll find out that this is actually just a base. This is just one of many, and not where Negan is. And as soon as Negan hears anything back, that is going to release a wave of terror and men against the Alexandrians. How this is all going to happen, we are going to have to wait until next week to find that out. Please press like if you enjoyed my rants and ramblings today. Feel free to subscribe. Join us every week. Comments, write them down in the section below. I read everything. I do appreciate what you have to say. I want to make this the best reviews possible for you. You can catch me on Twitter. I'm at Darren Jakes. Other than that, I am out of here. I will see you guys next week. I'm D. Take it easy. Bye-bye.